The Blue Jays bring out the big bats in this one as they lay a whomping down on the Oakland A's, winning 10-4 there at the Coliseum. And as I said in the last video, guys, when you play a 4-game series and you lose the first 2 games but win the final 2, it feels like a series win. With the W today, the Jays split the series against Oakland and improved to 16-14 on the year, back to a couple games over 500. Lots and lots of storylines in today's ball game. But before we get into those, let's just break down this ball game first. Bottom half of the first batter that Hyunjin Ryu faces from coming off the IL for his first start back after his glute strain. And he gives him a solo shot to Mark Canha, and I'm thinking, is he healthy? That's my instant thought, is he healthy? Well, he settled down and was all right, but we'll get to that later on. Top half of the third inning, the Blue Jays get some offense. But the problem was in the first couple innings, they were getting base runners, but not knocking them around to score, leadoff base runners. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not going to be one of those games where they get tons of runners on, but can't do anything. Top half of the third, Teoscar Hernandez, Marcus Simeon. Actually, no, let me go back to the top half of the first inning. We had 2 on, nobody out, couldn't score. I think the next inning, we had a guy on, and maybe it was a leadoff double or a leadoff single, couldn't do anything with it. The next inning, the third, you have a guy at first, you have a guy at second, nobody out, and I'm thinking, please, you cannot continue to allow guys to stay on base and not drive them home. Who comes up? Randall Grichik, one of the hottest Blue Jays out there right now, and not really many people are talking about him because of the Vladdy emergence and all this great stuff. But Randall Grichik gets, I want to say, a fastball from Fires, but none of his pitches are really that fast at 88 miles an hour, topping out his fastball. But Randall Grichik gets a ball in the inner half of the plate, turns on it, and drills it deep and gone. 3-run bomb for Randall Grichik. Hernandez, Simeon come around to score on the play, giving the Jays the 3-1 lead, just what the doctor ordered. Bottom half of the third inning, however, Matt Olson, it's an RBI double. Kemp comes around to score. Then Murphy, it's a single to center field. Olson and Laureano come around to score, giving the Oakland A's the 4-3 lead. Just right away, you took the 3-1 lead, then you just give it right back, and they have a 3-run lead, or the 3-run inning, giving them the 1-run lead back. Not what you want to see, especially with your ace on the mound. But the Jays weren't done offensively. Top half of the fourth inning, Jonathan Davis gets on, and Danny Jansen hits a 2-run bomb to left center, giving the Jays the lead right back. It's now a 5-4 game, his first home run of the year, his third hit in 4 games or whatever the heck it is. His batting average getting that much closer to the 100 mark. Hey, baby steps for Danny Jansen, but we'll take it no matter what. And the Jays are in front now 5-4. We go to the top half of the 6th inning, and the Jays are like, enough of this nonsense, this 1-run ball game stuff. Let's break this game open. Teoscar Hernandez comes up with 2 on and knocks home Bo, knocks home Simeon, and a 2-run single for Teoscar Hernandez, giving the Jays now a 7-4 lead. And up comes Randall Grichik, and he wasn't done just yet. Teoscar Hernandez comes home, and Vladdy comes home on another extra base hit for Randall Grichik, a double to the right center gap, giving the Jays a 9-4 lead. What an inning! Some clutch knocks, and yet again, the Blue Jays, in that 6th inning, not hitting the home run. The only guy to hit, Grichik and Danny Jansen hit home runs today, but you did other things, and that's what's so beautiful about today's ball game. And they weren't done yet. Top of the 7th inning, Marcus Simeon's like, I'm going to add insult to injury to my old team, and he hits a solo shot down the left field line, giving the Jays a 10-4 lead, and that's all she wrote as the Jays won it. 10-4 and improved to 16-14 on the season. Let's break this thing down by a mile, all right? I wanted to get through that stuff quick because there's lots of things I wanted to touch on. First off, Marcus Simeon. Everyone talking about how he's not a great leadoff hitter. You know, he's not great. Why just sign this guy? Blah, blah. He went 4 for 6 in this game. Was a triple away from the cycle. Had 3 runs scored in this game at the top of the lineup. Had an RBI, obviously, on his 1 home run that he hit. What a ball game for Marcus Simeon. And a nice little series against his former team. So what a job for him at the top of the lineup, kind of getting the offense cooking. And look what happened. It's a domino effect. The rest of the lineup, for the most part, did a job today. Crazy stat from today. Everybody in the Blue Jays lineup had a hit, except for one guy. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What? He'd be the last guy that you'd expect to not get a hit in a game like this. But it is what it is. That's the sport of baseball, man. Sometimes people are hot, sometimes people are not. And tonight, Vladdy was. He looked a little off balance with Mike Fiers the entire game. And it is what it is from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Bo Bichette in the number 2 hole had a great game at the plate. He was seeing the ball extremely well. He went 3 for 4, had a run scored, walked in the game, stole 2 bases as well. And then Teoscar Hernandez went 1 for 3 in the game, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He walked twice, and he stole a base. So a great job for Teoscar Hernandez and Randall flippin' Grichik. 2 for 5. Has the home run and obviously scores the run on that home run. He has 5 RBIs in the game. And he has been red hot. He's hitting over 300 for the year. He's got 25 RBIs in less than just at the 30 game mark. The guy's been unbelievable. Now Jays fans are all kind of waiting for Randall Grichik to kind of hit that decline because we're all so used to it. The question I have for you guys is this: is this sustainable? Is this the new Randall Grichik? We saw how long it took Teoscar Hernandez to get in the mojo, and he seems like a totally different player now. With all these players on Grichik's heels of playing time, and all the talk about trading him, and all the talk about him coming off the bench, I don't know if that got to him and said, hey, no, I'm going to prove myself right now. And he really, really is. The question is, can he keep doing it? And as of right now, through 30 games of the year, basically a month of the season, a little over a month of the year, he has done so. He's hitting the ball so well. His strikeout numbers are much lower than they usually are. He's driving in a lot of runs in big situations. So, I don't know. I want to get your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Kevin Biggio went 3 for 5 in the game today, but I'm not looking too much into it because Mike Fiers throws pus. He throws 88, and we all know Kevin Biggio, when he faces a guy throwing 95 plus, not a good idea, right? So, good for Kevin Biggio to get barrel the ball and get him feeling good, feeling better. That's great. But now let's start seeing this consistently. We want to start seeing him get hits off guys. That's what I was going for. That throw a little bit harder. And that's going to be that telltale sign for me if Kevin Biggio is really feeling it. But that's a wait and see kind of game, or wait and see kind of thing. But for Kevin Biggio, 3 for 5 today, he'll take it no matter what. He might be over 300 or over the Mendoza line, the 200 mark for the season. So that's much better for Kevin Biggio. Now, let's get to the pitching staff. And this is so underwhelming, but it's so good going into this series against the Houston Astros starting tomorrow night. Hyunjin Ryu gave you 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, struck out 6, and only walked 1 batter, which isn't a great line. But he gave your team a chance to win, right? 5 innings, 4 runs against, not the greatest type of outing, but it was a 4-3 game when he left. You were right in the game, and your starter gave you 5 innings. No matter what the situation happened, your starter gave you 5 innings. And with the Blue Jays' offensive explosion there in the 6th, it gave the Jays the opportunity to keep those big guy relievers down and relax them, right? Because what comes out after that? Travis Bergen. He goes 2 innings, walks a couple, strikes out a batter, but nothing doing. Joel Payamps went 2 innings, allowed nothing. So your bullpen gave you 4 innings of no-run ball, and it was Travis Bergen and Joel Payamps. You didn't have to throw Dolis. You didn't have to throw Chatwood. You didn't have to throw Romano. I know there's lots of other names. Baraki's another one. Obviously, Phelps got put on the IL, but it's good news. It's not to do with an elbow, so that's fantastic news. But either way, he's on the IL, which stinks yet again. But you don't have to use these big high leverage relievers because now you're going into a Houston series, which is going to be very, very difficult. The reason I say that, Game 1 goes tomorrow night in Houston, and you got Ross Stripling on the mound. As much as he had an all-right game in his last one, if you guys watch the Blue Jay Center Instagram lives, by the way, I just did a post-game live stream with Scott, Matt, and Luis. We talked about today's ball games. Go check that out. But I know Rob mentioned in one of the other ones that, look, if Ronald Acuna in Stripling's last start hit that ball out of the ballpark, it's a grand slam. And we're talking totally different about his last outing. And it was that close to leaving the ballpark. So, for Ross Stripling, I don't know if we really look into that last game a whole lot, and we're all kind of just sitting there saying, okay, offense, we're going to need you tomorrow. No matter who's on the mound for the Astros, you're going to need offense. And look, I have faith in these guys. They've had a great final 2 games against Oakland. They got to go out there swinging the bats tomorrow. They got to be ready. They got to be raring to go against Houston. It's unfortunate George Springer is not going to be playing against the Astros in Houston, but it is what it is. He's on the IL, and that's what we all expected. And to be honest, I hoped it because he's clearly not healthy. So it really makes no sense, keeping him on the roster and holding up a roster spot. It just made no sense at that point for George Springer. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the ball game there this afternoon, smack that like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not done so already. Guys, comment down below. Go crazy. If I forgot to mention anything, let me know in the comments. Twitter's down below for myself. Follow, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. The Instagram link is down below, so follow up there if you have not done so already. And and by the way, check out Blue Jay Center on Instagram, guys. We do all the post-game live streams. I myself do extra innings where I get a chance to talk to either broadcasters, past players, current players. It's a lot of fun. Go check that out on Blue Jay Center. We got a great community over there. It's a lot of fun. Love those guys dearly. And go check it out on Blue Jay Center. And I will be talking to you guys, where are we talking? Leafs edition tonight as they're beating the snot out of the Montreal Canadiens in the first period. So we'll talk to you guys post-game then. We'll talk to you guys post-game. Raptors edition as their playoff hopes are about that big, but they would go about non-existent if they lose tonight to the Washington Wizards at Emily Arena. It's a 7:30 tip. I think it's actually just about to start now between the Raps and Wizards. And as for the Blue Jays, I'll talk to you guys post-game tomorrow. Game 1, Blue Jays, not Raptors. Blue Jays, Astros. Ross Stripling them out for the Blues. I think it's an 8-10 first pitch. I could be wrong about that. But either way, they play Houston tomorrow, and Ross Stripling gets a ball. All right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.